This interview is brought to you by Burn Up Coaching in our 21-day challenge. And if you're an entrepreneur or a high achiever and you're feeling stuck, you're feeling plateaued, lost, you're lacking clarity, or you just have this vague dissatisfaction that you know you could be doing better, you know you could be performing at a greater level, then the 21-day challenge might be exactly what you need to get back on track, reignite your self-belief and your passion so you succeed like never before. What will happen in 21 days? You'll get clear on your life purpose, your end destination of where you want to go. You'll work your way back, break it down into bite-sized steps. You'll figure out what habits and routines and disciplines you need to engage in to be able to achieve that. You'll have daily progress reports to make sure that you're on track. This is one-on-one with me, very high touch, high intensity, daily one-on-one progress reports, and weekly deep dive calls where we'll go down deep into what might be stopping you or self-sabotaging you from achieving the great results that you know you're capable of. So if that is something that you feel that you're ready for and you're ready to step up to that level, send me a message, chris@beyourgps.com, or find me on Facebook and send me a message there. Would love to hear your vision, why you want to achieve your 21-day challenge goal, and see if you're a good fit for the program. It's not for everyone, and if it's for you, would love to have you join it. Now, the next portion is going to be the iTunes review of the week. And guess who left it this week? It's Kevin Burciaga. And Kevin says, best new podcast of 2018. This is the best new podcast I've found in 2018. There's so many great episodes. Quit filling your mind with polarized politics and bad news and start listening to Chris. Kevin, thank you so much for giving us that review. And if you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes and you can give us a review like that, or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self in the iTunes/podcast store or on Facebook, and you can give us a review there. Thank you in advance for doing that and giving us that feedback so we know what you're really enjoying, what you really love, and what we can do to improve in the coming months and years. Thank you so much for doing that. Now, for the woman of the hour, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned because she is a freaking powerhouse. Colleen is on fire, and you definitely want to stick around because she's going to be sharing gold with you all throughout this interview, and I know that life can transform in an instant. So you never know what one thing that we could talk about, that we could give to you, that we could share with you to bring up to transform your life. So stick around till the end because that one thing might be in this next hour. Colleen Gallagher is the founder of Colleen Gallagher International. She is a childhood cancer survivor, businesswoman, coach, consultant, speaker, author, world traveler, millennial, and specialist in evolutionary mindset transformations. Her vision is to transform leaders and shift culture by passionately empowering leaders to improve connectivity and move into lifestyle careers. Colleen believes individuals deserve to live a life with complete freedom on their terms. So she has devoted her life to creating tools that empower individuals to step into evolving their mindset so they can transform their life and the world. And we're so blessed to have her here with us today. Colleen, you ready to rock this?
I'm ready to rock this.
Awesome. You are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thanks so much for being here with us today to share your wisdom and empower us to become our greatest possible selves. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for using your channel of light to have this be expressed into the world and for people to rise up and live their truth.
That's right. 100%. So, Colleen, we're going to dive right into the theme of the day, which is today, sink or swim. So, how has this mindset or this paradigm, this perspective of sink or swim, how has that impacted you and your life? What difference has it made for you, Colleen?
Yeah, so definitely I feel when you're looking at sink or swim or mindset or flying, thriving, surviving, whatever this you want.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go after anything in the world. And if money was the answer, if money was the end all be all, bringing you happiness, of letting you live from a place that felt so good, of all the jets, all the things, then everyone would be there, right? And all the people that are already multimillionaires and billionaires would be like so happy and be all over the world, like doing unicorns and dances. But
right.
The reality is that that's not the truth. And, I learned that at a very young age with cancer. And, I followed the path of money, thinking the more money I had, I would just be happy. But the truth is that to really thrive, to really swim, or, instead of sinking, you really want to go with your mindset, and like your mindset not in a place of like, let me just do these 5 things to get this done. Like, what is it I can actually do that lets my heart feel good? And what can I come from a place of, this lets me feel really good, and now I'm going to let my mind decide for me that these are the actions I'm going to take in my life so I can start feeling better and choosing to be happy now.
Boom. I love it. I love it. So the sink or swim is more so like, hey, if I'm here living life, I might as well be connected to my heart and my true purpose, because it's not about the money. It's about like me being like, money's great. We're grateful for money, and it's not all about the money. Money isn't the end all. It's more so about being happy, being fulfilled, and being connected to our heart. Is that what you said?
Absolutely. And I feel too, I mean, I love money. Everyone should love money. Like what your relationship with money should be amazing, you know, but it's the fact that you want to do it from a place that you love, because if you were doing it just from a place, okay, I want to get more money, well, you're going to have all the nice things, all of the houses and whatever it is, but you could be all alone. You could be totally unfulfilled, and you're just going to want to be going to the next step. And I think that's the real truth of it, is doing what you love and then receiving from a place and impacting the world from a place, giving solutions to problems from that place where naturally, like, you're so excited to do that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I love it, Colleen. So this is such a great start to the conversation. You've had to overcome some serious obstacles and challenges, and we're going to get into that journey. And for people who are just finding out about you, or they want to know a little bit more about you, why don't you share more about your work that you're doing today in the world?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I guess with my story, I started out when I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and I was going for a layup all of a sudden, and I fell down and couldn't breathe. And I was taken to the ER, and I had this huge lump in my neck, and they were like, you have to get surgery. And I was like, okay. Like, I didn't know what that meant at the time. They said you'd be on medication for the rest of your life, and that when you wanted to have kids, it'd be like, hard. I'm like, whatever that means to a 14-year-old. Like, all I knew is I was going to be ugly. Like, there was going to be this scar on my neck. The world was over. Like, what am I to do? And so anyway, I got that came and left. And then I had to get a second surgery because there was a lymph node that was wrapped in my jugular. And there was a second surgery. So what happened during this time is there was a moment when I was at the doctor's office, and a dad yelled at a mom and said that the only reason we're in this position to not pay for our daughter's treatment is because you're a stay-at-home mom. And what I didn't know at that time, but two things imprinted in me. One, that you needed money to have love, and one, that you needed money to not die. Back to chasing the path of money. So I went to Michigan State. I graduated, worked for a $23 billion company, lived all over the U.S. as a sales engineer, and I was crashing. I was like in a situation in a relationship that was totally awful. I was not happy. I was partying all the time and doing well at my job. And I was making so much money for someone who was 22, 23, but I was so unhappy. So that was the answer. Like, why was I so unhappy? Why was this all crumbling down? And finally, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, there's going to be something awful that happens in my life. And so I started to Google international visas, because it was always my dream to live internationally. And I saw that it was $20 for a 1-year visa in New Zealand and Australia. Because I'd already been to Europe a bunch of times, and I was like, let's do this. So I go to New Zealand, and that was the first time. Like, I had so many friends tell me, like, oh my gosh, you might be a failure. Like, this isn't gonna work. You're silly for throwing this away. Like, all of these things, And I had anxiety attacks for 3 months every single day, like, leading to this. And basically, when I left, I just did it. And from that space, I went to New Zealand, was like, I'm here, what's going on? This is my dream. And I went back to corporate, manifested a job within 4 weeks for a $400 million company.
Wow.
I also started doing I did 3 to 4 hours of yoga a day for a while. So I was up to 300 hours of yoga and meditation. And it came to me, the story that happened, that imprinted in me, that you needed money to have love and money to not die. And what I realized, I put myself in all these subconscious places that were really suppressing my truth, suppressing who I was, because I was so obsessed with money. And what occurred to me finally is that there's so many other people who have these same issues. There's so many people that are going through the same thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my coaching business. I'm going to leave corporate. I'm going to travel the world and build my online brand from the ground up. And that was in January of 2018. Wow. And since then, I've written a book. I've been around the world twice. I'm getting my master's in global technology and development. I've helped so many amazing clients do awesome transformations. And the truth of all of it, all of this, it could all be taken away, but in a moment. But I know I could always build it back up, because my truth and my heart is to truly be of service to others and give people the moment, the space, the things that they need to rise up and make the impact that they desire to live with their heart.
Super, super powerful. And I love everything that you shared in that journey. And I want to dive into, those moments where you had a decision to make. You could either rise to the occasion and rise to the challenge or run, and play small. So I'm curious, what had you want to keep rising and growing and being your greatest possible self?
Yeah, one thing that I always really think about, and when people tell me is, you never know your last day. And, people are like, oh, but Colleen, you had cancer, so it's easy for you to say. And it's not even that I had cancer. Like, it's the fact that every day we get to wake up and we have a phone. We get to have Wi-Fi. We get to have a bed. Like, that keeps me going. Like, that is like, dude, there's so much love. There's so much happiness. There's so much purpose that's meant to be out there. And, like, when you look at people who have made tons of money and are really happy, like people's lives you want, it's always because they say they're living into their purpose. And people are like, well, I'm not sure my purpose, I'm not clear. Well, like, go take risks. Like, I knew traveling was my thing. Like, I took a risk, like, but it was a calculated risk. I didn't just wake up and say, like, oh, I'm gonna fly off and it's all gonna be into the sunrise. Like, no, like, I knew, like, I had 3 months I saved. I knew when I got there, I had an interview with a recruiting firm. Like, I did the steps to set up, like, an Airbnb for a month. Like, you do the steps to get you there. It's not like you just fly off the handle, but it's like, how can you not live into your purpose? Like, you're given this great life and you're like, oh, but I don't know, what was me? Like, no, you're choosing to be a victim, and you choose instead of choosing to say, I am a manifestor, I am powerful, I'm going to live my dreams, I'm making my dreams come true. Like, just how you talk to yourself.
Right. So I'm curious, how did you cultivate that within yourself, the willingness to take risks? Like, did you ever have a time where you weren't willing to risk? Did you ever have a time where you saw yourself like being a victim or playing small? And if so, how did you get past that?
All the time. Yeah. I mean, there were so many friendships and, like I said, relationships that I stayed in that, they weren't serving me. Like, I remember I would be there and I'd be like, oh, what do you think? Or what do you think of this? And I would do all of these things, but, like, I was doing it because I wanted to remain a victim. I wanted to remain small. Either every part of your life is contracting or expanding. There's not like one part of you that's like, my business is thriving, but my love relationships suck. Like, no, like, and my friendships suck. Like, either everything is thriving and everything's expanding, or it's contracting. And there's so many moments when I look back in time, absolutely, I stayed in situations, and there's always the next layer. It's not like you start on something, there's not something to grow. There's always bigger and deeper layers. And even where I'm at now, there's deeper, but you look at, okay, like, where could I be growing more? Where am I letting myself be too comfortable?
That's powerful. And like that power of looking at your life and reflecting and saying, where could I be growing more? Where could I really be taking on myself more, my capacity, expanding my capacity? And I think that's really powerful, because you do that work with your clients and you help them expand their capacity to be able to show up in their purpose, in their power, in their gifts. So tell us more about that. Like, how do we show up in our gifts, and what does that even mean for the people who are on their journey and they're going for their greatest possible self? What does it mean to show up in our gift?
Yeah, I definitely feel, so when you're looking at, like, gifts or your purpose or any of that, I feel that the first part, everyone's like, well, Colleen, I have no clarity. I don't know what that is. Like, again, that's just an excuse for your mind to keep you safe. So, like, I always say the greatest way to look at, like, what do you love? Like, look at the influencers you follow. Look at what YouTube searches you do. Look at what you talk about in your messages. Like, look at the last 5 messages, and I guarantee you there's a common theme between all of them, whether it's business, friendship, video games. Doesn't matter what it is. There is something that's in common, and that is going to lead you to your gift. And your gift is only getting it brighter and brighter and brighter, but you just want to first commit to what is it you love. Like I knew traveling. Like, I knew traveling was huge for me, and showing people the world. And, I've always committed to that, deeper and deeper layers. But I think the first part is really, like I said, is committing to yourself. Like, I have something special. I am important. And even if you're like, oh, well, Colleen, that's easy for you to say. It's not easy for me. Like, no, like, you do the work every day. Like, there's still, like, I don't think there's any successful person, even if you look at other people, they still are committed to themselves. I was just listening to something even with Grant Cardone saying, that you can have 100 people around you in the room. It doesn't matter how successful you are. There's still a time you have to face your fears and go to the next level.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm curious, this brings up something for me that I hear a lot, and people are saying these days that not everyone is an entrepreneur, right? And so I love that phrase, that not everyone is an entrepreneur, because I believe that there's people out there who are, like, suited and who have the mindset and the philosophy and the upbringing and the choices and the spiritual path, so to speak, the soul path, to not necessarily go be an entrepreneur. And I'm curious, with these gifts that you're talking about and someone owning their gift, like how does someone know what path that's supposed to unfold in? Is it supposed to be an entrepreneurial? Is it supposed to be working for someone else? Is it supposed to be with video on YouTube? Is it supposed to be on blog posts? Like, how does someone know like the medium or the level, the degree, the pathway on how they're supposed to fulfill on that?
Yeah, so definitely. So I feel that the biggest impact, I guess, really looking at that is you want to align to someone whose vision is what you agree with for the world, So for an example, like global citizenship is something I really believe in. The team that I work with, we really believe in. And any of the clients, like we're all very much global citizens. We believe in like a collective rising of everybody. Well, people that come to me, that's going to be something they align with, whether it's video, whether it's whatever. You want to look at that movement. Like, what is it you deeply care about? Like, do you care about giving back? Do you care about building schools? Like, what is it you really care about? And then you want to look at how other people have built their brands or how people have looked at, and you want to align yourself to that because you can then use your gifts to really make a difference and add value there.
Powerful. So it's finding other people who are already doing something similar to what you want to do, or how you can fit in and apply your gifts and abilities, how you can fit in and grow and develop and master your own gift so that you can, either help that cause, or you're at least around a teacher or someone who you believe in or who you align with to be able to develop that gift to the fullest ability and capacity.
Exactly. And even an example I can give you with corporate America, like when I went, I was a marketing major and I ended up being a sales engineer in the electricity industry for both, which is not mine. But I was really passionate about feminism. And I was like, I want to help women and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I'm good at sales. I'm, good at, making presentations. I can do this. And that's what I did. And then when it didn't align with me anymore, I chose to find another path.
How does someone know if something stops aligning with them?
You'll stop feeling good. When it no longer feels good, like when you wake up and you're like, I'm stuck, I'm lost, I'm not sure, I want to do this, but I don't know, and you're not following through on your actions, you are not living with your heart and soul.
So living with your heart and soul, like when people are in this mindset of sink or swim, where it's like, you have to live in this alignment with your heart and soul, like what happens if they don't? We talked a little bit about you're not feeling your purpose, you're not excited, you're not, waking up, jumping out of bed. What are some of the other impacts or consequences when people aren't on purpose and in alignment with their gifts?
Yeah, I mean, from my personal experience, I can say I was out drinking all the time. I was using some drugs on the weekends. I was in not very good friendships, relationships. They were all they were really mean. They were talking bad about me behind my back, but I would believe it. You get into this place of not thinking you're enough because you're allowing yourself to not live into your full potential. And how that looks for everyone could be different. Some people it could be, be isolating themselves. Some people it could look at going into a depression. Some people anxiety. The truth of the matter is, when you look at even people that have made lots of money, that are unhappy, they have these habits. And these are things that you'll start to notice if you're waking up and you're like, oh, I'm kind of sad today, or, oh, I don't really want to get out of bed, or all these things. Those are signs that your heart is trying to say, okay, something gets to be realigned, something gets to be adjusted. You're evolving. We want you to evolve because we want you to be happy. Everyone wants you to be happy. The world wants you to be happy. Right. People want you to be happy. Majority of humanity wants you to rise.
Yeah.
But it's your choice to show up and co-create in the process.
Yeah. So it's we have to take responsibility for showing up and taking those steps because nobody's going to take them for us. So I really love this mindset, and I also wanted to talk about being a victim. Why do you think that so many people choose not to own their gifts or not to follow that path of pursuing their purpose?
Yeah, so I think a lot of times, even clients I talk to, or some of my people that be like, oh my God, I never even thought about this. You're so right. Or there's things, and I want people to realize when they're listening to this or watching this, it's not even your fault. If you are being a victim, from a young age at 14, I was like, oh, she has something wrong with her. There's something wrong with her. She has cancer. Psychologically that put things in your mind, and even when you're reading things on the news or listening to things how many medications you need to get better instead of healing yourself. There's so many things in this world that allow that to come through. But I think the point is when you're really I'm taking full responsibility for my life, regardless of what's happening. If I had cancer, if I've been robbed, if I whatever was stolen, like if whatever happened, like I'm choosing that, okay, this is my reality, but I'm not taking responsibility that this is going to be the future.
Wow. So what would you say is your biggest gift to the world?
Definitely empowering others to remember the love that exists within them to transform the world.
Wow. And so how does that show up in people's lives? Like, what does that look like? And, specifically, I wanted to dive into some of the mindset work that you do and like kind of what that looks like and how we can start doing some of that work on our own as well.
Yeah. So a great one I actually always say, and this is a good like starting point, I use it a lot, but I have a 3-step process, but I'll give you this example first of a great initial exercise for people to do. So people are like, Colleen, like I want to kind of do this, but I'm not really sure. And I go, okay, do you have a calendar? So many people are like, I don't have a calendar. I'm like, first thing, get a calendar, buy a calendar. I want you to every day start writing down in the morning, tonight, what is it you actually do? So from like driving in rush hour traffic, grocery shopping, on the phone, texting, like start literally writing out what you do every day. Then from that place, at the end of the day, I want you to write out how you felt when you were doing those things. And you're going to start to see how many things in your life that you may or may not be doing that does not allow you to feel good. And once you do this, you can start to hack your life of what are things you can start eliminating to start replacing things that make you feel good. So for an example is, I never liked rush hour. When I was in my corporate job, I realized this and I was like, okay, I'm going to see if I can come in early and leave earlier, like schedule my things so I'm never in rush hour. Perfect. Saved so much time in my life, made me a much happier human being. And it was just that's like a small example. But if you start doing this in your life, like I still do this in my life, you start doing this in your life, you're going to start to feel so good and start to realize how doing the things you love is actually going to monetize your life.
Wow. Tell us more about that. Doing things you love helps you monetize, helps you increase the value, increase happiness, bring in more money. How does that work?
Yeah, so I always say my evolutionary leadership, which I teach, which is evolving your mindset to transform your life and the world. The first part is identifying the separation in your life, like removing the gap. Like where is there subconscious separation in your life? Like where is there not alignment that you're saying one thing, but the reality is another thing? So where is that? And usually you can do it by yourself, but it's always good to have mentors or people in place that can really help you see this. But that's the first part. And once you start doing that, then you want to execute on removing the gap, removing the separation. From there, you're going to start to create a brand, whether that's a corporate brand. I mean, even in corporations, you can talk about separation with gender. You can talk about separations in pay. There's so many things that you want to identify. What is the true separation? Why is it there? And then what can we execute on to remove that? That's going to start to create an evolving brand because you're now going to start removing subconscious things that were there that were limiting growth. And from that brand, when you're going into that and saying, we are committed to this. I am committed to this if you are your brand. You start going there and you're going to start to really create a movement. Because you're going to start, this is what I stand for, whether it's, we're doing this because we believe in ending child hunger, poverty, or whatever it is. It could be yourself, but this is like your story. This is your mission. This is your why. Like everyone has to have a why or it's not going to matter. But once you do that, your why, you look at the gaps. From the gaps, you create your brand. From the brand, you create a movement. From the movement, that's going to impact your consumers. It's going to impact your employees. It's going to impact you. I mean, when you look at statistics, I think it's like 90% of global consumers say that they would love to see more businesses that have for-purpose businesses or things that are actually doing things. So if you're tying in now, like saying, my brand stands for this, we're always evolving, we're always removing this, and here's what we do, like your employees are going to start to be more engaged. Your clients are going to be more engaged. You're going to be more engaged. And while you're doing this, you can now create and call in top-level talent to help you go and create a bigger impact in the world.
That's powerful. I love it. So really creating that brand, what you stand for, the values, the vision that you see in the world. And when you constantly reinforce that, it creates an attracting effect, a magnetic effect of those types of people coming into your life so that you only surround yourself with those kinds of people, whether it's your clients, whether it's your team, whether it's just people in general, friends, associates, you start attracting those people because that's what you're always talking about. I think one of people's biggest challenges is that they aren't willing to continually say what they stand for. There's that repetition, and a lot of people, I know for me personally, I was concerned in the past of like, well, what if I keep saying the same thing over and over again? Aren't people going to get bored? It's like, no, people need to hear it multiple times. They need to know that like you're still committed to that 6 months later, a year later, 3 years later. It's like that's who you are. That's the message. And of course, there's different ways to deliver that and to restate that and to reinforce that. And I think it's like really trusting that, hey, if I do this, it's enough. Just repeating what I stand for and repeating that refinement process to get closer and closer to it. And I'm sure it evolves too. People's culture, people's values, they evolve like every quarter, every year. Like you want to be looking back at that and say, hey, is this still the same as it was a year ago? Is this still like who we are? And to make sure that you're still in alignment with that. Because like you said, one day some people might wake up and say, wow, I'm just like not happy. I'm not fulfilled. I'm not living my purpose. I'm not in alignment with my gifts. What went wrong? What did I not pay attention to? What are the values that have shifted or evolved in my life? How am I not living the values that I said I was supposed to be living, kind of thing? So I think there's a lot of really powerful wisdom in all of that you just shared. So thank you for that. That's powerful.
Yeah, and I truly believe, my life 10 months ago looked very different. I was just leaving corporate America. I was traveling. I was just starting. It really can be instant. Your life really can transform at any moment. And even if you're not the entrepreneur, like you said, you don't desire maybe to be the CEO or the creator, or I think we all desire to be creators. But I think the most important part is to just commit to yourself that I am enough and that I matter, and keep saying that to yourself. And you're always going to evolve. Like even like probably 2 months ago, what I was saying to myself versus now transforms, but I'm committed to the process and I'm falling in love with the process. And you get to do that as well. And it gets to feel this good for everybody. I think that's the most important. It's like, you get to feel like a rock star every single day, but it's your choice to choose that.
Wow. Yeah, I love this, and I so align with it, and I think that's why we resonate so much with each other, is because I say today's the best day ever, right? And it's like today's the best day ever because I get to create what my best day ever looks like. And it's only me who validates or judges whether it is the best day ever. If I'm comparing it to yesterday or last week or last year where, I got, my first kid or I got married, I haven't done those things. But for example, if that was what I was comparing it to, then it would take away from the joy and the ability to be fulfilled and the gratitude and the appreciation and the fullness of this moment. And if I'm waiting for tomorrow or 1 week, 1 year from now, when I'm a millionaire, when I'm whatever, right? When I have the TV show that's reaching hundreds of millions of people, whatever it might be. Like if I'm waiting for that day to be the best day ever, then I'm robbing myself of the present moment to be great, to be fulfilled, for it to be magical. So I always say that today is the best day ever. And it's like we get to recreate that. We get to recommit to that. And every day it's like at the end of the day, we can ask ourselves the question, why was today the best day ever? What was it about today that was the best day ever for me? Well, I woke up, and that's what made it the best day ever. It's like we're meaning-making machines. We can give meaning to anything that we want. We can reframe anything that we want. We can change our perspective in an instant. So we can go through life saying, well, today was okay. It was average. I was fine. Or we can go through life saying, today was the best day ever, and we get to share that joy and that excitement with everyone who we come across. And I think for me, one of my big challenges was I felt inauthentic in the very beginning, saying, how can every day be the best day ever? Well, it's up to us as creators. What we say goes. And I love that. I think you were posting something the other day that really inspired me, that we are those world changers, those creators, the enlightened human beings who are here to like really make a difference and share our love in the world. So I love everything that you're about, and I love that you live that message too, because it's so evident. Your energy, your happiness, your drive, your love, it's super potent and powerful.
Thanks. And that's another thing I guess I want to say, because a lot of people that I talk to, and they're like, well, Colleen, like I'm busy, or my wife is this, like, all these things. And I want to like touch on that as well, because I feel like people are like, oh, well, Colleen, it's just you, but at the end of the day, like I choose not to make excuses, and the small things compound over time. Mm-hmm. And, this just came through, but if you're watching this, you're like, oh, but Colleen, I have kids, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, that's fine. You can be busy, or you can choose to be productive. You can choose to look at your life, the calendar that I just gave you, and choose to see where you're truly happy, where you're truly living in purpose, where you're truly excited. And then you can start to see the reality of your life. And that's a great way. Like you can hold your own self accountable. But, something that's always put me to the next level quicker and quicker and quicker is getting around environments that allow that to happen, getting around people that believe in you, getting around people that believe in themselves. Like, if you're the one in the room that's the smartest, or you're the one in the room that's like the saddest, like, you need to get a different room. Like, in the rooms that I hang out with, no one's sad, no one's talking about problems. Like, everyone's talking about opportunities. I'm not saying that no one in that room has problems. Almost probably every single person in any room that I'm in has had far more failures, lost a ton of money to starting a business or doing a business, to like mistakes that are being made, like money that's probably even unfathomable to, like, I just had heard someone that was saying, I spent $2 million on Facebook ads. That is like an unfathomable thing to think. But if I can't even fathom that, like if you're listening to this, you're like, oh my God, that's so much. But you want to be there. You're like, oh, but I want the happiness. I want to have the freedom. I want to have all this stuff. Like, if you can't even get in the moment of like, this is what I'm willing to risk, this is what I'm willing to do for my passion, there is no way you're going to be able to spend $2 million even to get $5 million. Yeah. And it's scaling. And that's what I want people to understand so deeply in all this too, is like, oh, but Colleen, love is just whatever. And the results, like, no, the results show up when you choose to do this. And the results show up when you're willing to take those risks. And that's what I think is super important in evolving your mindset. Because if you want all of these great things in your life, but you can't even handle right now spending $5 or a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 on a coach or on a program, or maybe on a trip for yourself, or to go get a manicure and pedicure, there is no way that you're going to be able to do that at a level that's big leagues, let's say.
Right. It's like, if you can't be trusted with the few or the small, then how can you be trusted with the big? And that's one of the things that we affirm on this show as well, is like, our commitment is that we impact and make a difference for at least one person's life, deeply change and transform at least one person's life, and most likely many, many more. And it all starts with one step at a time, and to be appreciative of that, because there's an energy with that. There's a mindset with that allows us to really accept and embrace more, and it's not about quality, or it's not about quantity. It's not about, hey, I'm only here to impact millions of lives, and anything that's less than that, I'm not willing to do it. I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs get hung up, is that they want it to be big, they want it to be flashy, they want it to be impactful, and there's not a lot of glamour in the very beginning of that entrepreneurial journey. There's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, hard work, and late nights that it takes to be able to get to that place where you can invest $2 million into your Facebook ads.
Exactly. And maybe some people are like, oh, well, that's not my thing, or whatever it is. Like, I just want people to notice really when they're listening to this, that you get to have all this to you right now. It's a choice. Like, 10 months ago, even 4 months ago, my life was very, very different, but you get to choose to co-create in the process, and you get to choose to take action no matter how much it's fearful, and no matter how much you get to choose to go within and get that courage, because the fear doesn't get less. The fear actually gets more the more that you get into, and the more people that you're impacting. Like, if you're helping one person solve a problem versus imagine helping 100,000 people solve a problem, imagine the fear that's going to come with that in a different level. And back to the thing with money, I want to say it as well. Like, sometimes spirituality is like, oh, but money's bad. Like, everything just be whatever. Like, no, like, we need social, spiritual investors in the world. And the reality is, if spirituality and money doesn't come together, there's going to be people that are not spiritual that are investing, which is created now. And if money was really the answer, looking at the developing third world nations, that was the answer, and economies just made everything work, then we would have just given to the developing third world countries what has worked for the developed economies, and we would all be rising. That's not the answer. And if the economy was, we wouldn't have the poverty that we do in the developed nations. We wouldn't have all the things that's going on in the developed nations with problems. The problem is that it's social issues, it's social constructs, people choosing to care about themselves and saying, this is why a movement creates a brand, back to my creatorness, like whatever it is, like that is what's going to make the difference. And that place, when you go from impact to get your income, that is what's going to rise up and really let this planet be a different place. And to get that at such a deep level, just oh, I don't have money. You can go volunteer at a children's hospital. That costs zero money.
Yeah, go like support people who are in need, who are in a lesser position than you, and like lesser being like they may not be as fortunate, they may not have as much abundance, they may not have as much health as us, as much choice. So to go support those people because we have more than enough, we have been blessed with more than enough, just reminds us that we live in this world of abundance, and reminds us, I think, how good we have it, because like when we see those people who are struggling, it's like, wow, I could be in that position thank God I'm in this position. Thank the universe, source, creator, whatever we want to call it, that I've been blessed with my wisdom. I've been blessed in the environment, with the network, with the people that I'm around, all of it. So, I'm curious, Colleen, what would you say is the biggest asset that has had you succeed in your life and in your journey? What do you think is like the number one trait that you represent or live that's had you thrive on your journey?
I think the number one trait is truly just believing in myself and truly knowing that none of this is about me. It's for solving a greater problem and giving a greater solution to those to help them rise up and make a difference. And I think that's been the biggest trait. But the way that trait's been embodied in me is that I've invested, in 10 months, I've invested about $70,000 in my personal development. And in that personal development, majority of that was environment. I think actually all of it, but one of it was environment. And even that is an online environment. So it's a mastermind, but that is the biggest thing to start believing in yourself, to start seeing the value that you have, is transforming your environment. It is.
Yeah, it's powerful. Like it's not just the people you're around, it's the places that you go. Do you hang out at the bar on the weekends, or do you hang out in the library? Do you hang out in the office? Do you hang out at a networking event? Do you hang out at a seminar or workshop or something like that? Like, it's not just about the people. The people is important too, and it's literally the physical environment too. Both are important, both the people environment, both the physical environment, and also the idea environment, as I'm sure you've seen, like reading books, listening to podcasts, and listening to books, all these kinds of different things that we can consume information and start to reprogram our mind. Tell us what your philosophy on reprogramming the mind has been. What's been your experience with that?
Like my process with it?
Yeah, just your process, what you've noticed about reprogramming the mind. If you have wisdom to share about that with our audience, what can our audience do to reprogram their own minds?
Yeah, so definitely reprogramming your mind, get around mentors. I can't just have to get around people who already have the life that you want to be living and get around them. They're going to tell you your blocks. They're going to tell you where you're limiting. They're going to tell you straight up. They're going to tell you where you're being a victim and you don't even know you're being a victim. That is the truth. Like, getting around people who are there to help you succeed, and not people who are willing to let you settle for being where you are.
Powerful. What is like one action that people can take today to be able to move towards that, or a couple different actions? Because they could reach out to you, Colleen. They could reach out to me. Oftentimes people are having challenges doing that. So how can we encourage them and remind them what's on the other side of reaching out to either you or me? And then what are some other actions that people can take to get around people who they aspire to be like?
Yeah. So, I guess the biggest thing, even when we're talking about environment, what's the environment on your social media? Like, do you even have people that are super successful? Are you following people that are super successful? And success is different to every person, but whatever that looks like for you, like, what is your news feed? What is your Instagram feed? Like, that's a huge thing, and what are you talking about? What are the thoughts you're even having in your head? Like, those are a couple actions. Like, start noticing, start becoming aware, start writing this down to yourself. Like, that's a huge action of those environments. If you're like, oh, well, I don't know, Colleen, about all these things. These are things you can do just by yourself. These are, I promise you, if you do these and you execute on these, your life will shift instantly, like massively. So that is like the biggest one. I definitely think is becoming that awareness and getting that awareness around yourself. If you're like, I don't have the illusion of money, which is crazy, but if that is your reality right now, then I would definitely do this by yourself. Second thing is, you want to start investing in mentors. You want to start investing in people who have the life, masterminds, group coaching. You want to start getting a new friend group. Third part, there's something called Meetup. It's an app, MEETUP. Literally, download it for free, and it tells you entrepreneur things. You can start your own meetup of like high vibe people, totally free. Costs $0. All you do is show up. 3 things right there that you can just call in people. I'm only looking to hang out with high vibe people. I want to go I found this restaurant, or I found this whatever. It's whatever. Let's all meet up and let's talk about what we want to do in the world.
Powerful.
Start creating those conversations. And people are like, well, Colleen, like, it's like, anytime I meet people, like the conversations I have, very rarely I'm like, how was your day? I'm like, yo, what did you manifest today? Like, how's your vision going? Like, what's the next level? Like, when people message me, like, I've never thought of that. that's fine, but let's start to think about that. Like, I'm uplifting you. I'm trying to have you come to that next layer. It's not intimidating. It's you choosing to say, I matter enough to have a vision that big. I matter enough to be able to dream that big, to have these conversations.
Wow. That's powerful. And I also love that what you're saying is like what you're living as well, in terms of the mentors and the people that you've been around have asked you these powerful questions. And so now you are ingraining and integrating that into how you show up, and you're asking these same questions to the people that come around you, the people who want to be like you, who want to achieve their purpose and be inspired in life to live a great life, fulfilled life. So I really love how you are eating the cooking, so to speak, that you're giving to your clients and the people in your network by doing what you are recommending and inviting them to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think it's all about, even, is just getting to that place, because you're going to pick up pieces of everyone. No one that's made it to the top is really just themselves. Every single person, this is not new knowledge I'm giving, like every single person, if you listen, Oprah Winfrey, whoever it is, they all have had mentors. None of them are just themselves. You pick up a piece of different people, but the thing is, you want to get clear on what you want for your life. So like, write down, this is the lifestyle. Like, I knew I wanted to travel the world. Like, I knew I wanted to help people show the world. So what did I do? I created an online business that allows me to travel the world and impact people while I do that. Get clear on the lifestyle that you want, and then create an income, an impact to support that. Because otherwise, if you don't know what you want, the world can't give it to you.
Yeah. One of your big themes and focuses is evolution. How does that, what does that mean? What does evolution mean to you, and why did you choose to focus your branding and your messaging around that?
Yeah, so evolution, when I really look at, rebirthing or regoing, it's always an evolution. And I feel like anytime that you're really up leveling, you're really going to the next place in life, you're evolving yourself. The same you right now is not going to be the multi-billionaire. You're going to be solving totally different problems. You're going to be talking totally differently. So you're sitting here right now telling me, Colleen, I'm broke. Colleen, I don't know. Colleen, da-da-da. There's no way that $1 billion is going to be able to land in your lap. Like, it's just impossible. It's just not. So you have to evolve yourself completely through an evolution process to get you there. And, 3 things even I can say. If you want to start a business, I'll even give the 3 secrets to starting a business is know your market. What do you love to do? Like, I love helping people who want to gain clarity on their vision, who are here to make an impact, leaders. Like, that's who I'm here to serve.
Right.
Now, the problem is they feel stuck. They feel unsure. They're not knowing where to go. They lack clarity. My solution, I deliver them how to find their truth, how to live with clarity, how to raise their impact to get the next level of success. Those 3 steps, market. So what do you love to solve? And then give that in a package, in a product or service to someone. There is a business I just created for you.
I love it. So figure out your market, figure out the who and what you love to do kind of thing, figure out the solution, how you're going to do that, what the access is to impacting that market, and then how do you package it up? Like, how do you put it into an offer? How do you charge people? How do you monetize? All that kind of stuff. You figure out those 3 things, then you have a business.
Like, here's an example. Like, I have someone who, an Instagrammer, does Instagram stuff. All they have to do, you just do what do people want to do? They want to grow their following on Instagram and monetize their business.
Yep.
Awesome. All you do is you give, hey, this is who I am. These are the results. This is my gift. This is your problem. Here is my 3-step solution so you can grow your Instagram.
Man.
There is a business. You're up and running.
I love it. So one of the things that comes up for my mind, I think a lot of people too, is like, how do they know if they're ready to start like charging that amount that they want to charge? How do they know that they're ready, that they're expert enough to teach people? I think there's a lot of imposter syndrome that creeps into people, that has them feel like doubts and like, that they're not worthy, all these kinds of things. How do we overcome that so that we're able to effectively charge what we're worth and what we desire to create the lifestyle that we desire?
Yep. So what you're currently receiving in your bank account is a reflection of your self-worth. Mm-hmm. So if you're not happy with where you are, if I was you, I would be writing down every single day, I'm so in love with myself. I'm so great at this. I am so powerful. I am so great. I've overcame these things. And you're like, Colleen, I don't want to do that. A mentor just told me, start saying what you're grateful for. I'm grateful that I had a bed. I'm grateful that I had this experience. I'm grateful I got to have a high school education. I'm grateful that I got to be really good at math. I'm grateful that I get to play video games. All of these, whatever it is that you like, here are things that literally just look and you will start to see there's a pattern. I promise you. If you go to YouTube, then your messages, you will clearly see a pattern. Wow, across everything that I do, this is the same thing. It's always a common factor. And that is where, like, all right, I am an expert. I'm great at this. This is what's amazing. And, you know, from that place, like, you need to do what feels good with charging. I mean, get people results. Start doing it it shouldn't be like I'm doing it to just get money. You're doing it because you really love it.
Yeah. Powerful. So, like, knowing that we're doing it out of an authentic reason and as a way to just like reflect back to the world, hey, I can do this. I'm great at this. I love doing this. So that's why I deserve to get paid, because I'm giving my gift, my purpose, serving people, solving problems, doing what I love. So of course I deserve to get paid for that, because, you know, there's other people who are doing it out there and I'm doing it. This is my life force. This is my message. This is my unique flavor, my, style, so to speak, that is wholly and uniquely mine. And you could go to them, and for everyone who resonates with me and values what I stand for, then know that you're going to get the experience that I'm promising, that I'm living, that I'm, standing for.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's really not rocket science. Like, I feel like it's very simple, and then people are like, so complicated, or these things. And, you know, like, doesn't it just feel good to feel good? Like, yeah. To me, I just like to feel good. And like, if anyone watching this or hearing this, like, you can tell, like, I'm happy. Like, there's nothing, this isn't like, oh my God, this is such hard work. I had to do this. Like, no, like, I'm excited. I'm happy to give this. Like, you know, with clients, when people come to me, you know, I was actually getting my hair done, so I have to get it done twice a week for this. And I was in there and I was talking about what I do. And someone was like, oh my God, I need to hire you. And I just got, like, I didn't even do anything. When you are so into your thing of the results you're giving, like, it just happens. Like, people want to pay you. Like, you know, like, back to you're solving a problem. You're not just saying, like, oh, I don't know. Like, you know, you're solving a problem. Like, the clear problem. I help people that are unclear. They're not sure. They feel a little bit lost. I help them gain clarity towards a vision. Like, whatever yours is. It doesn't, I'm just giving you straight examples of what my life is to see how easy this is. But, you know, it's just a problem solution. And if you want more money, solve a bigger problem. Like, if instead of helping one person, help hundreds. For the people who are intimidated by that, though, say they're like, I really aspire to earning $1 million or $1 billion or whatever the amount is, and like, I don't know how I'll ever get there. How do you respond to those people? Yeah, I mean, that's a subconscious limiting block, right? Like, you're allowing yourself to sit there and be like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, no, like, I just would not allow that to even be around me. Like, I wouldn't get stuck in that. It's not saying that I don't ever get sad or I don't ever have moments of what's going on. But, you know, I sit there and look at myself, like, where could I love myself more? Where can I be in greater gratitude to show up? Because it's not even about you. Like, if you're telling me, Colleen, I don't know, like, you're not fully getting it, that you're of service. You're a human being of light, this expansive light that's here to be of service to others. And when you're of service to others, you get compensated.
Absolutely. I
and
love
back to, you know, even going, like, it's free. Go to, you know, somewhere and volunteer. I guarantee you, if you start to do it consistently, you're going to somehow make a revenue out of it. You will, because you're going to meet people, they're going to see your passion, they're going to see what you care about, and they're going to want you on their team.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. When you're just doing what you love and being of service and showing up in your gifts, like, the world naturally rewards you. You know, it's like when you're operating in that flow, and also, of course, working on the habits, working on the daily disciplines, the mindset, making sure that you're dialed into your greatest possible self every day, then that's what will ultimately transform someone as well, is like the consistency. Because I think a lot of people want that microwave mentality, like overnight kind of thing, and it takes time. It takes time to continue investing into that clarity. And I love it. It's like, it's this duality, right? Like, everything can change in an instant, like, totally, like, life can transform in an instant, and have the patience and the compassion and the grace with yourself along the journey if it doesn't happen right now, if it doesn't happen overnight, because isn't it worth it? Wouldn't it be worth it to spend a year, 5 years, whatever amount of time to be able to achieve that result, even if you have to go through difficulty and hardship? Like, isn't that your highest purpose? Isn't that the thing that is inspiring you the most? And if not that, what else? What else would you be doing? You'd be, drinking on the weekends, killing yourself, or, like hurting your liver or hurting other people, or, just being a waste of space rather than a contribution to society and other people around you.
Exactly. And people are like, well, Colleen, I don't know. Like you said, even they're still like, but, all of the buts. Like, you guys, my life is living proof of this. Like, I left corporate America and I moved across the world to New Zealand. I had no job. There was no guarantee this was going to work out for me. But because it was my truth, it was my truth. Not because I was doing it for money. It was truly my passion and my purpose to live internationally at that point. Of course, I manifested a job with a $400 million company in 4 weeks. Of course, when I left corporate in January and I had $5,000 in my bank account and I was coming out with my book and doing that, of course I'm here 10 months later and it's thriving and it's growing and it's expanding. Of course, because it was my truth. Now, I'm not saying that like there weren't moments of anxiety. I told you I had 3 months of anxiety attacks of what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? Well, all the things. But I knew deep down I was so committed to it being my truth.
What was your daily process to like get through those anxious moments?
Honestly, I was in a really bad space in that time. So I would say I probably didn't really have a good one. It was just very negative self-talk. And it was a lot. I really don't think I had a process, to be honest. I remember I would call a lot of friends and
just survive.
And all the things. Yeah. And talk it to blue and everything. But the more you just talk about it, the more you're just recreating it. And I didn't know that then. But like why I've created Colleen Gallagher International, the programs I have, is because I don't desire for anyone to ever go through that alone. Like I don't ever desire a human being to put themselves through what I put myself through. Like I remember there was a time even after that I was in Miami, I was in Ultra, and I was on drugs, and I was sitting there and I texted a friend saying I wish I didn't make it through cancer, and this was a week before I moved to New Zealand. And I'm sharing that with you all because I remember that moment in time, and that was in April of 2017. So it wasn't too far ago, like that long away. And I would never desire for someone to be their life that way. I would never desire for that. And we all are here for a bigger purpose. And I truly believe that. And so, the more I went into this meditation and this yoga and everything, I saw that I had something so great that could help others never get to that place. Because going to that place is not something that any human I wish would ever get to. And we all have the opportunity and the responsibility that we can help others not go through a pain that we've gone through.
So powerful. This is awesome, Colleen. I love this. This has been a really, really great conversation. I want to know, is there anything that we didn't cover that you really wanted to drive home or get across to our listeners and our watchers so that they can be their greatest possible self, so that they can live in their purpose and live in their gifts?
Yeah, I would say the one thing, that I really drop into it, I just want everyone to know, you're so powerful and you're so epic and you're such an expansive human of light. Whether you know it or not, whether you're kind of don't believe it, just start to say it to yourself, every morning. Just write if you're listening to this, I don't even have a mirror, I don't have a whatever, take a piece of pen to paper and just write, I am awesome, I am amazing, I'm a manifestor, I'm of service, I'm here to help, whatever that is. And just start to smile at people. Just start to walk down and smile at yourself, give yourself credit, and know that truly the clarity you desire, the getting found that you desire, the end result that you desire, it's all available to you right now. It's all available for you to act on right in this moment, to have and to create that new identity, for you to evolve yourself and have the most amazing life that you desire to have.
Amen. Amen, Colleen. So what can we look forward to seeing from you in 2019 and beyond?
Yeah, so I'm now going to be doing speaking on stages. So I have quite a few speaking events, the rest podcast, and I have still a lot of my programs. I'll be releasing my 12-month program that really takes people from starting from the bottom now.
Yep.
All the light humans that are here to make a massive impact. That'll be starting. And yeah, just really the rest of this year, I have an 8-week mindset course to really get your mindset in the way for 2019 to start and evolve yourself to start out strong and make this the most expansive ending to a year, so you can start 2019 up with the most extraordinary life you could never even dream of.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So tell us more about this 8-week program that you just mentioned. How can we get involved? How can we stay connected with you? How can we take those next steps?
Yeah, so the program's open right now. It starts October 22nd. I'm doing it live, but it's 8 weeks. I'll have one live call, and there is a VIP option. You can get 24/7 access to me via Boxer, which is insane.
Amazing.
I only use this usually for my premium clients, but I've lowered the investment substantially. And all you have to do is www.colleengallagher.co/8weeks.
Okay.
And it's there. It tells you all about the weeks, the manifestor, what we do, how it becomes. And I'm super excited. We'll go into all the tasks, give you tons of tools and tips for you to start implementing in your life and asking in your life so you can start to live this life as well with total freedom spiritually, financially, and emotionally.
Boom. And you said that was colleengallagher.co/8 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that 8 is in the number 8 or the...
Yep.
Okay, yeah. 8 weeks. Okay, cool. I just put that in the comments, so everyone go to that. Definitely stay connected with Colleen. Keep growing with her. Join her 8-week program to set your 2019 up for greatness, for the best possible year that you can have. And Colleen, thank you for your energy. Thank you for the love that you're putting out into the world and the light and just who you are and what you represent, what you stand for. It's absolutely amazing. I love your energy throughout this. I felt like, oh my gosh, I want to get as energized and excited as her. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, you epic human beings of light. It's all there, and it's all available for freedom to. The truth will set you free, and your truth will.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Colleen, thank you so much for being on here. Everyone, definitely stay connected with her. Join her program, and Colleen, we'll see you very soon, okay? Awesome. Take care.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.